Isn't it wonderful when you can just come out into your garden in the morning with a cup of coffee and just get your breakfast? I cannot believe how many berries this raspberry bush is putting out. And there's just, you just can't pick them all. It's wonderful. I do leave some for Catbird, although she's eaten every blueberry off of one of my blueberry bushes. So I don't think we're gonna get blueberries this year, but she's so cute. She sits a foot away from me and just kind of looks up and says, "Thank you for planting this bush for me." She thinks I put it there just for her. So it's my birthday today, and I'm kind of relaxing and just letting myself have a day off and enjoy all the labor that kind of went into this garden and be thankful for it. And I thought I'd kind of take you on a bit of a stroll and show you some of the things that are kind of standing out to me. A little walkabout, a little birthday walkabout. Tonight I'm gonna go out to dinner. My husband's making reservations. But look at that. This is the Proven Winners plant that isn't growing as vigorously as some of my other tomato plants, but look at the size of those tomatoes already. June 24th. So it's now starting to get up there and grow, so I thought that was really neat when I uncovered those. It's so funny how the fruit can kind of hide on you. The bees are all over the summerific sunflowers. I'm really looking forward to the Sweet 100s. Look at this. They're starting to put out their tendrils. So I'm really excited to see that because I really love their cherry tomatoes. They're beautiful. I have come to find out that celery does not like competition. And you can kind of see that the two celery plants here are really getting big. But the one that has a little bit of competition with the dahlias is probably about a half the size, if not a quarter of the size of the other ones. And I'm having the same thing in one of my copper bins. The corn, it's crazy. It's at the top of those trellises. I'm trying to figure out how tall must those be? 12, 14 feet? So it's just crazy. You have to factor in the height of the bed, but I mean, they are really tall. So fun. I think they're gonna peak before, I'm hoping that I can keep the corn stalks by, for fall, but hopefully they won't get moldy on me. But look how beautiful. Looking for some pollen. I hug them together because I obviously don't have a lot of it, so I do a lot of hugging and of them to see if they'll pollinate each other, because they are wind pollinated. The urn is looking really beautiful. I did do a planting video, so I can go over what the plants are in there. But one of the things I'm really enjoying is like every corner is new, like a new revelation in the garden now, which is really fun. Even the compost pile is kind of like, you don't see it until you come around this corner. And, it's really cool. And I've been putting everything in it. You see that there's some bolted cabbage, and it wasn't looking so good, so I didn't want to feed it to the chickens or anything in there. And we're having no problems with smell or with mice or anything like that, so it's really wonderful. This is becoming like one of my favorite views now. Seeing the grapevines. The garden is pretty wild right now, which is my preference. I like to leave things a little wild. There's Catbird. She's jumping around. I don't know if I got her on the film, but she follows me everywhere now. Zucchini, which has been producing like crazy. I just made a really good kind of summer harvest bake from it. with just everything that was in the garden. Just layered it like a lasagna. It was really, really nice. Very fresh tasting. But yeah, this view down here, as you come through to the wildlife garden and the frog pond, I just think is such a pretty view. I just can't get over how well the frog pond is doing. I spent 20 minutes on it at best this year. It just took care of itself. I spent 20 minutes putting a bit of fresh mulch. It really didn't need much. And then removing some of the leaves out of there. And it's all doing really well. All but one plant survived the winter. And I would say half of them were supposed to be not hardy here. So it's a very protected site. The water is remaining clear. There's no odor back here, no mosquitoes. It's wonderful. The conical grass, just like in the morning, it just glows all along here. I can't imagine when it gets double that size, how pretty that's going to be with all the old gold. We got the fountain up and running again. Hopefully the plants are going to recover. I have not even done anything with the woodland garden. It's kind of just taking care of itself, which is kind of exactly how I set this garden up to be. But look at how beautiful the oak leaf hydrangeas are right now. So pretty. They require nothing. They never flag. They're wonderful. I would say put it in a lot of them. These are banana creams, daisies. They're doing really good. They're probably getting a little crushed, so after this blooms, I'll cut those leaves back a bit for them. Some coreopsis. These stilbees are starting to bloom. The dwarf fountain grass are already blooming. And they're hanging in there. The roof usually mashes them in the storms, but they're doing really well. All the evergreens, they're just staying in place so nice. I really haven't had to prune them. The buddleia butterfly bush is blooming. It struggled a little at the beginning of the season. You can kind of see its leaves are a little bit taxed right now. A little bit of insect, and I would say a little bit of disease on them too. And I didn't really think about it, but at its feet is a sprinkler head for the grass. So she's getting a lot of water, and she'll probably adapt to it, but they're pretty hardy, but she's not enjoying it. So I really didn't think that through. Sometimes that happens in gardening, and you put something and you really don't think about all the aspects. There's a lot to think about when you put in a plant. So it's easy to kind of get caught a little bit. It's not about perfection. The smoke tree is finally putting on its plumes and giving that smoky look. This is its first year that it's done it. I think it's its third year. So I'm starting to think, oh, I don't know that it's always looked really healthy and everything, but it's finally starting to kind of definitely look like a smoke tree. This one's a tree. I know there's bush forms of it, but this one's a tree. And look at the lemony lace elderberry. Do you think it's happy there? It's almost as big as Willow's barn. I don't have the heart to cut it. I will eventually, but I'm just enjoying it so much. And it's just such a pop of chartreuse color next to Willow's barn. Oh, we've moved the cafe table over next to Willow's barn, and I think it's really given a nice, kind of cozy, homey feeling here when you look at the whole picture. Her little cottage. We moved that there because we moved a picnic table from the chicken yard or the courtyard into this space, so which will be very practical because this is where we all hang out during the barbecues. And this elderberry, the sunflowers, they're all kind of providing really nice shade for Willow for the summer. So it's not only pretty but useful for her. This bed along here isn't doing much. The roses have peaked. The azaleas have peaked. So next we'll be waiting for the butterfly bush. Oh, the baptisia peaked, which is down here, and it's really loving it here. Look at how big the baptisia got this year. This is a firelight hydrangea, so that'll come on a little bit later. A limelight back in the back there. There's some geranium. Didn't do a huge bloom yet this year. I guess maybe it did. Maybe I just missed it because I see a lot of buds on there that need to be deadheaded. So maybe it did and I just missed it. I thought this was cardinal flower, but I'm now thinking it's like millet or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's millet, and that came back over the years, so that'll be wonderful seed for the birds. The incredible hedge is not happy at all. Look at that. That's amazing. That's amazing. Look at the bees on it. I hope this camera is picking up all of those bees. They are just going crazy for it. Isn't that lovely? It's just such an elegant hedge. It really is. And it requires nothing. It is a non-fussy bush. It's sitting in full sun, never flags. Just really happy there. So yeah, so this is where we moved the picnic table to, and I'm gonna kind of dress it up. Maybe I'll share that in a video. I'm gonna dress it up, but this is kind of where we all congregate because we usually end up putting like a water park or something all in the lawn here for the babies to play in, and we all just sit in lawn chairs and relax and eat and have cocktails while the kids play. So it's really nice. But I think that this table dressed up will look really cool with that gorgeous hedge behind it. And the standouts in the herbaceous garden right now are the coreopsis and the sunflowers. Coneflowers are blooming quite early this year. Oh, and the daylilies, These are stelladoras. That's Zagreb. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it's Z-A-G-R-E-B. Zagreb, but eventually the bee balm is gonna really be the star here. It was last year. It's just now beginning to bloom. It did take over, so I will say that bee balm, if you put it in and it's happy, it will take over your entire border. So you have to really get on it early and often. So I'll probably be digging up a bit of that and then moving it to other parts of my garden this year. the comb flowers. The Jackmani. Clematis or clematis, however you say it. I like to pronounce it. Did wonderful this year. It's going out of bloom right now, but oh my gosh, it was just covered. The whole thing just turned purple. This bed shines at this time of the year with the moonbeam coreopsis kind of flanking everything along here. The roses have done their first flush, so they're looking like I just have to completely go in and deadhead them. They were very pretty. And these two kind of have, this is a firelight also, I believe. Hydrangea has married to this rose bush, so they're kind of growing amongst each other. And I'm gonna see how that works out. I can always prune the roses out of it because, you know, you have to really cut back roses because they start to get like really strange. Like you can kind of see it's a little bit bald in here. We have a pretty nice spider web in there right now. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a pretty nice spider web. I think the light might be reflecting the wrong way for it, for you to catch it on the camera. Oh, there it is. I think I do see it right there. Look at the littlest of pollinators are out. I've never seen a bee that small. So small. They're lilies, and then the wee whites. Ostrich fern, miscanthus grass, more fern. Have to uncover Buddha. It's getting poked in the eye by the phlox. My Buddha Sava, she's in there. I have to uncover her. The hedge is taking over. Some yarrow, that's going to go in the herbaceous border along with this salvia. Haven't gotten it planted, and then I have some more willow trees started over here. The east garden is really coming alive. Oh, my little lemon tree that I've started this year. Hoping for the most part I can keep it in the greenhouse and then just move it in on the coldest of times into the house. I have to work on the butterfly bath, but the daisies are all budding up and beginning to bloom. That's always a happy time. I have not cleared this out yet, so I need to work on this and get some soil in there so that the lawn can fill in. I just haven't gotten to it, but the butterflies are enjoying a little bath for them. And did you see that heart-shaped rock? Isn't that so cute? I'm going to do a video on this garden this year. I've decided to add pops of color, and I want to maybe give you some tips on what I do to really make a shade garden stand out, because this is a complete shade garden. Shade rockery is doing so well. All the plants have married together, and it just looks so amazing. I have to tame this entryway into here, but look at how big the climbing hydrangea. It's finally over the top. They grow slow, but They're really a steadfast plant that doesn't give you any trouble. Not a lot of pruning, once a year at best. But I love this view as you come through. It's so nice, you know, when you get, you know, different views in your garden and you start to achieve these little mini vistas, you know, that you can look out across and just stop and really soak in the look. The stobies are starting to put up their blooms. The color in this garden is really gorgeous this year. So many textures and colors, and I'll go over this garden soon. Jellyfish plant up there. So as usual, this video has gotten way too long again, but I thought I'd just do a mini walkabout. I was enjoying doing the watering this morning and having nothing on my schedule except dinner with my husband tonight, and thought I'd kind of take you along for my little walkabout. I'm gonna head to a garden center and spend the afternoon there before getting ready for dinner and just relax today. You think you're gonna be able to get around the garden, but you can't. There's just too much that I'd have to show you to talk about all the things that are really standing out this year to me. Obviously, I have to tame the ivy in this pot, but it's kind of looking really neat right now. So I hope you have a great day, and thank you for joining me on this birthday walkabout.